Hi, I'm Soraya Bloom, your local BDM with CNC Property Management here in beautiful Monterey, California. And today we are going to interview two of our team members. We have our General Manager, Brett Chernetsky, and Senior Property Manager, Diana Gonzalez. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and get into the questions. So this is for both of you guys. So how did you guys get into property management? Brett, we can start with you.
So I got into property management through working for Kevin's dad for a little bit. I worked for him for a few months when I was in college still. I was helping him maintain property grounds, turn over units. So that's kind of how I got my intro into it. Then once Kyle and Kevin moved back to the area, I used to just go sit in the office and absorb everything, everything, listen to their conversations, talk to owners, talking to tenants, doing their leasing. I would just sit there, and at that time I was in a part-time role with them, more like an on-call type deal. Just helped out where I needed. So that's really how I got my start in property management.
Nice. So really hands-on, which is amazing. That's perfect, especially for this industry. How about you, Diana? How did you get into property management?
So property management has been in the family for quite some time. My sister is the one who has always worked in it. Since she was really young, she became really independent and she kind of just stayed on that forever. So luckily I came across a company that was willing to train and give me the opportunity to learn.
Because you manage quite a lot of doors. How many doors are you managing currently?
I think about 309.
309.
Right? Yeah.
That is a handful. That is a lot. That is a big load. How do you manage? How do you organize your day?
To be honest, you could plan your day and 1,000 things could just pop up and you just go by day. I could have it fully planned out, but things could come up and you're multitasking and just trying to get everything completed on a timely manner.
How about you, Brett? I think that you've transitioned out of property manager into, I know you're a general manager, but when you were, how many doors did you have?
I mean, at one point we had so many doors and not enough employees. I mean, I was directly handling 400 or 500 doors at one point. And that's when we brought in more people. So as we brought in more people, obviously that number came down. So 250 is probably the sweet spot, is what we try to keep all property managers around.
Okay, got it. So property management, basically, for anyone that's not in the industry, it's a very hands-on career. So with property management, it's just day by day. Things change and you have to be on the ball and you have to just be ready for anything that comes your way. And that's how our staff is trained, and that's why I chose to interview these two, because they have been through everything, every transition, everything you can imagine. They've seen it all. And that being said, what parts of property management do you guys find challenging?
I mean, Diana almost answered in her last one, it's everyday changes. There's never routine. There's never, you never know what you're going to show up and have to deal with that day. So the challenging part is just, never knowing what's going to come at you.
Mm-hmm. And I 100% agree with Brett on that one. Mm-hmm. You could be having a good day and it could just go bad really fast. Right. So it's just learning to adapt to a new situation each time.
Got it. And let's go to something more positive. What parts do you guys enjoy the most about your roles as property managers?
I think for me, the part that I enjoy the most is just, when I give a new applicant their keys to their home. Mm-hmm. I feel it's a little silly, but sometimes when they're touring or whatever, it feels like they're buying a home to them. And they're imagining like, I'm going to decorate like this or I'm going to decorate like that. So I just love opening that new chapter for them.
I love that. Mm-hmm. How about you, Brett?
I love working with owners. All owners are different, so different personalities, just dealing with different type of people. Dealing with tenants, like I said, moving them into units is very enjoyable. But also on the flip side, dealing with owners and achieving the goals that they want. Those are big things that that I like to work with owners.
Nice, I love that. And so here's a really interesting question, and I'll start with you, Brett. So when you onboard clients, what do you like to ask? What are things that you like to hit first when you have new people coming on, new owners? Some are very particular about something. So what are the main things you like to ask first so you get a better idea of who they are as an owner and how you can provide the best service for them?
The biggest thing is for them to be very clear on what it is they want to achieve. If they can clearly explain what they want out of their properties, and then allows us to know how to manage the properties for them. One of the things we always say is own the owner's outcome. So if we know the outcome the owners want and it's something we can facilitate and handle, there's no reason why we should drop the ball.
Right. How about you, Diana? Let's say, like, when you're meeting with an owner, what are things that you like to know right off the bat? And, that particular things that they like done a certain way? Like, what is it that you like to ask right off the bat so you know how to achieve it 130%?
Same thing as Brett. I like to know exactly what they are expecting from us to take care of their property and maintain it. So definitely when they let us know exactly what they are looking for, it makes our job easier. And we're not, if things pop up, it's not like we're scrambling around for answers from them. So it's definitely, I like to get exactly what they are looking for.
Nice, perfect. So my next question is, how is management different between single family homes and multifamily properties? So,
They're very comparable. The biggest difference, in my opinion, is just having the knowledge of buildings and also laws. Obviously, with multifamily properties, you have AB 1482, so you have to know that because it's completely different to single family homes, which are exempt from AB 1482. So you have to have a lot of knowledge on those things, and also just kind of how the buildings work. Plumbing's different. In a single family home, that's all you have is that one door, whereas a multifamily property, you can have two doors, you can have 120 doors. So, it really varies on the maintenance side of things too, and just how things work. But really, dealing with tenants, dealing with owners, most of it's pretty much the same. You don't really have to change or adapt very much. But like I said, multifamily, single family, everyone's a little different between tenants and owners. So
right,
it doesn't necessarily matter what the building is. All depends on the individual you're dealing with.
Right. And I know in a previous discussion, Diana, you and I had talked about, because where you were previously, you had to know every single ordinance. Laws change constantly in property management and real estate. So you had to be on top of everything. So for single family home, and that's why you're our senior property manager, because in that, what I love about our company is that we are on top of everything. We know even before the audience knows or before owners know, we know exactly what's going to hit, and we educate and empower. Do you find that you do that a lot with owners? Sometimes an owner might not know about an ordinance, or he might not know about AB 1482, right? So you educate them and let them know, hey, this is what's going on. Do you do that? Do you find that you do that a lot with owners, and it gives them more of a sense of security with you as their manager?
Exactly, yeah. So it makes them feel that we are reliable and they could depend on us on anything that, it's up to date with laws and everything.
Absolutely. So another question, do you guys feel that there's a stigma about property management as a whole?
Yeah, I think it's primarily comes from the tenant side, but also some owners have stigmas from property managers as well. So.
And you answered my next question. Where does it come from? Where do you guys feel it comes from, the stigma of property management? A lot of people feel that property managers basically are just rent collectors, evil rent collectors, and that's all. Where do you guys think that derives from?
Go ahead.
Sorry. I think it's just the lack of education.
Yes.
I think our tenants don't know exactly what property management does. They just think, hey, they're just there to collect the rent, but in reality, it has a lot more to that.
Exactly. I agree 100%. I think it's just bad practices too. That's my next question actually is, how does CNC fight that stigma? How do we as a company fight that stereotype? And what do we provide to our owners and tenants that kind of sets us apart from that stereotype?
I think a big negative stigma comes from tenant side of things. So one of the things that we really do is we put a major emphasis on customer service. So, just making sure all of our employees are well trained with customer service, being able to deal with difficult situations. A lot of times tenants think that the property managers make all the say, that whatever happens is because of the property manager. But, we work for the owners. The owners are the clients and they own the properties. It's their money. So, however they want us to handle things is a lot of times how we handle it. So I think that's a big reason why we get negative stigma for it. So us just being trained in customer service skills, being able to communicate clearly. So that's how we, separate ourselves from that stigma.
And my last question to both of you guys is, what was one of your most difficult challenges as a property manager, and how did you overcome it?
Hard to really dial it into one specific thing. I really think the dynamic of AB 1482 is probably one of the most difficult things property managers as a whole had to go through. Just those laws changing, having to learn them, understand them, how they apply, having to reverse things that have been already done. A big step and change in property management. CNC, myself included, we really attacked it. We tried to understand the laws as best as we could, educated ourselves, educated our owners as well, so that they knew the landscape and what was changing, what had to go back, what the future looked like. I'd say AB 1482 is probably one of the biggest challenges I've had to face.
Yeah, and you hit it head on, and here we are now. I mean, we didn't lose too many accounts, we didn't lose too many tenants, we did really well.
We added.
Yeah.
We added and grew through it. So yeah.
For sure.
There you go. There you go. How about you, Dana? What's been your most difficult challenge, and how did you overcome it? With so many doors, I would imagine you have a list of challenges.
Yeah, for sure is the whole COVID situation.
Yes.
We kind of learned day by day. It was really difficult with, unpaid rents, how to go about that, how to handle it, because the 3-day notices weren't the same as, before. And it definitely was hard. But like Brett said, we just handled it as best as we could. And we extended our hand to letting them know, like, hey, you could apply for this. There's assistance to help you for this. So not only, we're just trying to collect rent, but we're helping them and hopefully, getting them back on track and everything like that.
Another way that we fought the stigma of what property managers do, we actually helped instead of just, well, you're not paying your rent, too bad. No, we were actually helping the community. So that's another way that we fought. You go, girl. Amazing. I love that. So Brett, these questions are a little more directed towards you as the general manager. So when you're hiring a property manager, what do you look for? What qualities are you looking for a property manager for our specific team?
People who are passionate, doesn't necessarily have to be about real estate only, but people who are passionate about things, people with a lot of energy, people who are organized, hustlers, people who want to give effort. That's probably the biggest things. Because you can teach and coach and train people up on real estate, but if they don't have those qualities, it's pretty hard to get them to grow as an individual.
Especially in this industry, because there's a lot to know, there's a lot to learn, and it's every day, and it changes constantly. So it's definitely something you have to be passionate about, and you have to have that drive, or it may not be the industry for somebody. So I agree with you 100%. And so when you do hire and you're with your team, what expectations do you set for them?
Ties back to what we look for: give effort. Learn, go into it with an open mind, knowing that you're not going to master this in a day. It's a process. It takes years to fully understand, and it always changes, like you said, daily. So what you learned last year, you might not be able to apply to it the next year. So just give effort and have an open mind, and just be ready to absorb all the stuff that comes at you.
Right. Got it. And what do you feel are the benefits owners and investors receive from property management from CNC?
Customized experience to the owner, that's a big thing. Owners like to be involved, some owners don't want to be involved at all. We're able to adjust and change things. So whether they want to be hands-on, they want to go crawl under a building, look at the plumbing, or they want to not even get a phone call and they just want to collect their money at distribution, we can do all those things. So being flexible with owners and their needs is probably the biggest benefit of CNC.
Got it. So those are my questions, and I am so happy we had these two team members come in. I specifically wanted them because we've had a transition from Brett was just helping out, learning the industry, to now being a general manager. And as you can see, very informed. He knows it all, and he's very personable. Anything you need, you go to Brett. And Diana, managing over 300 doors. That just tells you the belief that we have in her, how she manages her day. And it doesn't matter what happens, she is ready to go and fire away. So I want to thank you guys for coming. I appreciate you so much, and it gives the audience better insight to who we are as a team, who CNC is, and what we can provide for you. If you have any questions, give us a call, and we'll do a free consultation on site. Thank you, everybody. Bye.